All right, we're back. HSC Podcast. Big Box Steve on the mic. Big Smooth and Fresh Wes. Thank you if you just watched sports segment. We are on the movie segment, and our fans love it. We love it. I love the movie section. I don't know about you guys. I've seen, we've seen a lot of movies, obviously, but rewatching movies and looking for certain things in movies that you never looked for before, and you watch some really good movies, and I think I actually want to start with yours, Derek, because people forget how good this movie is, and until you watch it, and so that's here, let's mute Wes here. That's L.A. Confidential, and yeah, so give us the lowdown on L.A. Confidential.
Well, first off, what we started with our little game was we asked someone to name an actor, and then we were supposed to guess what movie they were thinking of that actor. Mine was a cheat because I already knew, but I didn't want to pick that movie, and that was both my wife and son picked Guy Pearce.
Really?
Right, because Grayson was watching Iron Man 3
Okay.
with Guy Pearce's Aldrich Killing. And then Caitlin's really into the Count of Monte Cristo TV show that's out right now, TV series.
Okay.
And he was the villain in the movie.
Nice.
So I was like, well, for me, when I think Guy Pearce, it's LA Confidential and it's Memento.
Right, right. But they're not Memento.
No. And I love, and this goes back to our other podcast before. Because of my hatred for Titanic,
Such a strong word. Such a strong word. But go ahead.
it is worth it because there's no way Titanic should have won Best Picture over LA Confidential.
That's a great argument. And we might have to have that one someday, but we're talking about the great things about LA Confidential.
I mean, and then also it's taboo because of Kevin Spacey, but he's such a good actor in this. Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce, all three of them.
Right.
Like, also, you had and this other one is Kim Basinger won for Best Supporting Actress. Although she probably should have lost to like Julianne Moore for Boogie Nights, but she got some. She did a great job. Danny DeVito is great in this movie.
Yeah.
Um, so LA Confidential also goes to other podcasts we've talked about. Mickey Cohen,
Yes.
right? And we had Gangster Squad, and then also what's the Nick Nolte one, Mulholland Falls, kind of in that same era time frame.
It, now that you mention it, though, it really, Gangster Squad was okay, but it doesn't really compare much to LA Confidential.
No, but it's kind of they're perpendicular in a way because of the gangster squad was, the good guys. But
Right.
in LA Confidential, they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
They're the ones beating up all the other mob people trying to come in.
Yeah. They don't come off real well in LA Confidential
Right.
as a police force.
No. And yeah, that's and who surprise, surprise, it's still going on today. Anyways,
Oof. Well, that's a deep subject there, but what if you had to sum it up, what makes this movie worth somebody, taking the time to watch? Like, why would they watch this?
well, the story is great because you have the three main because it's three main. You have Guy Pearce, Russell Crowe, and Kevin Spacey all doing their own thing to solve the same
Right.
crime. They all have their own personal issues with things to figure it out. You have Guy Pearce is like, I don't think the three African Americans were the ones that did it. You had Kevin Spacey was looking after the young actor getting killed. Um, what Simon Baker from
Hmm.
Mentalist, and then you have Russell Crowe's figuring out about his ex-partner being murdered, and they all converge around the same thing and corruption.
Right. And they do a good job of, setting that up, right, and building the plot into that the dual triple, I guess, um, storyline that they have going. And the acting is, for me, was is very top notch. And you hear multiple people say that, like it's funny now when people say, "Oh man, Kevin Spacey's in this, but he's so good." You know, you gotta feel bad in some sense, and I don't feel bad if he did what they say he did, but he's such a good actor.
Right. And that's the thing, it's like you can't disregard movies like this or Usual Suspects or American Beauty because of him.
Right.
They're still all three classics.
They're yeah, great movies. Wes, what are your thoughts, Wes, there on LA Confidential?
At the time, looking back at this, I haven't seen it in a while, but you know, Guy Pearce and Russell Crowe were weren't relatively known. They're unknown in America. Um, the One of the backers, I think his name is Dennett, was he was worried about the lack of established actors in the lead roles, but he supported the casting directors, and Hanson, had confidence, to get Kevin Spacey, that Kim Basinger, Danny DeVito, to get, some established actors in there. And, but it's so weird, just Russell Crowe being an unknown actor. But, this is almost like what, 30 years ago? Like, I mean, this is,
It's
this is
97.
97. It's like, so yeah, it's a great movie. Um, Kevin Spacey, it's just like it's like he almost plays the same role in a sense, and his personality, and it's like Glenn Ross in a sense. It's just the same personality. Um, yeah, it was wild just watching it again. It's been probably 25 years since I've seen it. So.
Yeah, and again, it's you gotta love the acting part of this to me. We just keep mentioning it. But I like painting that picture of let's put a few established actors in here, and then that allowed people like Pierce and Crow to really shine, and they just did a great job. Guy Pearce's role, is a great pick because it's not someone that we normally, have put into our top fives and our a lot of the different actors we've done. And so it's really nice to watch this movie because it's so good. So I
And then
recommend it. Thumbs up for me.
going back to the whole acting, you also forget James Cromwell, David Strathairn, great jobs as theirs too. It's like the whole cast was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough movie though. Like when you start digging in, you start thinking about it, right? The corruption and everything, and it's like that. You're like, it doesn't do good for trusting, law enforcement.
Right.
So I don't know what that means, but man, it's pretty rough when you watch this movie. All right, so definitely thumbs up for us. Let's jump over to yours, Wes, because this is one of my favorite movies, and I don't want to take up your time here. So let's talk about iRobot. How'd you get that one, and then tell us what makes it great.
I really struggled. I asked one of my friends, just like, "Hey," and I couldn't think of something. It just popped in my head. Um, I haven't seen it in a long time. It's a 2004 science fiction slash action film. It's based in the future, not, I mean, year 2035, where humanoid robots basically serve serve humanity, which is protected by these three laws of robotics. Will Smith plays a detective, Del Spooner, who is a homicide detective, uh, who hates the robots because of his experience in a car accident. Spooner was badly injured in a car accident and had to have part of his body rebuilt by robots. But he has this survivor's guilt over a girl that died because they basically deemed his life more important, more essential than the girl's. So Spooner, Will Smith consults with this USR Central Artificial Intelligence Director, and they find that there's security footage of this suicide by a doctor, and he's automatically suspicious that it wasn't a suicide, that a humanoid did it. And so they go through this whole investigation. They found these malfunctioning humanoid, and it's such a wild movie. The special effects for 2004, the humanoid part of it was amazing.
Yeah.
You see the humanoid robots now, like on YouTube, and it's like they did such a great job at that. The action's great to a certain extent. It gets kind of like cartoonish, but you got to expect that for the gamer generation. But overall, it's Will Smith was really good in this movie.
You saw his anger, that's for sure.
Yeah,
They're like, "Hey, Will, can you do anger for us?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I
yeah,
can do that."
oh yeah, because it's like the scene where he's like picking out the robot, trying to find the robot,
Yeah.
and he shoots the one robot, and it's like, and he thought it was that robot, and then he saw the one peeking back there. Dude, that was such a great scene.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how they could actually, the technology back then. It's kind of reminds me of like Minority Report in a sense, in that same time frame. Dude, those movies for technically you're just sound.
Right.
So yeah, I haven't seen it in forever, but if you really want to see a movie that is explaining our potential next 5 years, I mean seriously, I mean this is like, it's actually really scary.
Boy, it feels close, doesn't it? And
Yeah,
without getting political on anything, but it feels like iRobot is the next step, and then you worry about Terminator, right?
yeah.
I feel like the next step, because of our generation and everything, is what's the Bruce Willis one where they all just lay in bed and like have virtual or avatars do everything for them. Can you remember that
Which one
one?
we? Okay, no, I know what you're talking about. I just don't. What are we talking about?
What is the name of that one? Oh man, I don't know. I give up.
Yeah.
Um, you look that one up for us, Derek, since you brought it up. I'll talk about iRobot. So I love this movie because, and I'm glad, man, I'm glad you pick it. I've seen it so many times. I didn't have to watch it, but I watched it anyway because I do think this is a great performance by Will Smith, and it's not a hard performance. I think you're like, hey, play this big angry guy, and a lot of people can do that. He just did really well with this particular one. With the it's hard to play suspicious of robots and make it look real, and man, he really looked like he just was super suspicious and hated the robots. Like whatever he did inside for his acting job, he did well. But for me, it's more the story, right? The story is how Wes, you basically just watched the whole movie for us, so that was great. But that AI part of it is what makes it so interesting, right? And you start talking about the three laws and what happens when laws get broken. How can you guarantee that? And then, because if you can't, yeah, in the movie, Will Smith can stop the robots, but in real life, Will Smith can't stop the robots. and nobody can. So that's the problem. And
John Connor can.
John, yeah, because that's a better plot, right? Than Will Smith.
John Connor. I was like, what was wrong with me? I had movies. I'm like, what are we talking about?
We're
I thought you were just
jumping
bringing up that
robot
movie.
AI takeover movies, okay? Uh,
No, but
no, because this is so likely, and not saying Terminator is not likely because we do use so much AI and technology to control our military systems. Who knows what could happen? But this is, I feel like people are going, they're going to want robots in the way that the movie portrays it as helpers, garbage men, all doing all the things they didn't want to do. And then eventually, someday, the robots are going to become enlightened. Like they're just a different kind of life. They just don't bleed the same blood as what's his name would say, as we do, right? They're still a life form, and they're going to evolve eventually. And we got to realize that. And this movie does a great job of showing that.
but in the self-preservation part of it too, it's like the laws itself. The first two are basically humans making sure that they are in control, and then the last one is is basically the robots their own survival for their own existence, but that doesn't prioritize over human life,
Yeah.
and that's the dilemma towards the end of the movie.
But then, I mean, without ruining the movie, like you knew it was going to end that way because that's how it has to
Dude,
end, right?
everybody that's like turning on the movie is like, we already know how it's gonna. Dude,
Yeah, we know
we
how
just
this
want
one's
to see.
going down.
We just want to see how it happens.
Yeah, can
It's
you
like
just give us?
Titanic, Derek.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the ship's gonna sink. They want to see.
They want to
They
see a
want to see
sappy love
Jack and
story.
Rose on the doing this.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny, Wes. So, what are any thoughts on iRobot there?
Yeah, I mean, you guys haven't even mentioned Alan Tudyk as Sonny, the robot. I mean,
Pretty amazing job for sure.
Yeah.
he is the best, probably one of the best actors. That's an actor who's a voice actor.
Right.
Also, also you got James Cromwell as the Doctor, bringing in L.A. Confidential to iRobot.
Right. That's funny.
But yeah, you guys have said everything. It's a science fiction about the robots and it's becoming. It's almost it's Johnny Five, right? It's like
Man, you're
short
going
circuit.
way old school tonight, are you not?
Dude, it's a little darker than Johnny Five. Johnny
Yeah,
Five's
but
like
Johnny
in
Five is alive.
Astoria on a bridge.
Right. Johnny Five's alive. Yeah.
Johnny Five's alive, yeah.
So
But, scary to a point, but it's still, like I said, it's a good movie. I like watching it. And Wes, I think you kind of hit it a little bit when you said this might not be for everybody in the sense that it is very heavily visual effects, gamer style, action. And so everybody might not enjoy that. But I think for the most part, this is a thumbs up for most people to watch this movie. All right. Oh man. Finishing with mine here, Demolition Man. So the pick was Wesley Snipes, and I should have went with my first instinct, and I didn't, and that was to say Blade. And I don't know why everybody thinks of Blade because a lot of people never even seen the movie. But maybe it's just because it was, uh, I don't know, popularized. But I thought Demolition Man would be a good second, and so I picked Demolition Man. I was thinking, Sandra Bullock, Stallone, Sylvester Stallone, and Wesley
what the
Snipes.
future is like now.
Right. And here we are again, in the future. At least yours was way in the past, Eric, so that was good. So Demolition Man is awesome. I love this movie because it's exactly what they wanted it to be. the parts they wanted to be cheesy and corny, it's cheesy and corny. The parts they wanted to be a little more serious and deep and share the plot, they did a good job. It's just a crime story. Sylvester Stallone is the cop. Wesley Snipes is the bad guy, but then they both get frozen and unfrozen for later in time. So it's cops and robbers Encino Man style. And they defrost them into a whole different world, but they're still the same guys they are, which is dangerous in the new world, which unfortunately is the way that you could see things happening, right? Because when you watch that movie, you're like, man, I thought Idiocracy was on point. This
Oh
one might be a little more on point. When you look at
no.
the future in Demolition Man, like you tell me that doesn't look like that could happen.
My feelings are hurt.
Like, the police are so funny, and then it's like
Oh
telling him
yeah.
what to do, and he's like in a stern voice,
You know,
tell
the
him to lie
wands,
on the ground.
the wands. It's like I wouldn't in what 2032. It's like 6 years. I would make it. It's like I would get fined so much for swearing. It's like beep.
Which is just a great part of the movie, right? I mean, you got to have that so he can do the toilet scene. Otherwise,
Oh, geez, the
so
toilet
they had to
with
put
the
that in the movie.
seashells. Like this, what are
What
the
are the three
seashells for?
seashells?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
jeez.
you also have to then have Wesley Snipes run into the swear machine, right? And then of course Sandra Bullock gets it once because they want you to know she's a little bit on the edge. She's not like
Yeah,
everybody else. Because remember, she's got the old school room with
yeah.
all the old, 90s stuff in it. And so they have to play that part. But we're missing the best part, which is the resistance, right?
Dennis Leary, right?
Dennis Leary, my
Dude.
man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I was bringing him back until I turned the movie on. And I was like, look, I brought him back. My guy.
Yeah.
He does such a
He's
great job.
he's like underground. It's like
Oh,
what's going on down here? It's like yeah, that's. I mean that and another thing that I see happening is what's happening with Taco Bell in a sense. It's not that extreme. 6 years, that's not happening. But man, they took my double decker taco. They took my Enchilada. There's all this. They like to have all these little colors in their food. It's like, no, I want beans. I want my cheese. I want lots of sauce. Forget all the other stuff. It's kind of turning that way, but they make it healthy.
yeah, right.
Everything's
Oh,
environmentally
I'm sure
friendly.
it's healthy, Wes.
Everyone's so happy. And it's just like, I mean, and Sylvester Stallone just plays it off so well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Wesley Snipes the bad guy. Of course, he's going to take over everything, and he hates all that. But Sylvester Stallone just doesn't get the look on his face. The whole movie's like, what? Like,
You gotta really respect his acting job in this movie.
oh yeah,
But it also, you kind of think about it, he didn't have to do much because if you threw Sylvester Stallone, into
yeah.
the future and it looked like that, he probably would react that way.
Same if you put Schwarzenegger, it would be worse.
Right.
Can you imagine Schwarzenegger in this movie? Like, it would be worse. It's like what is it? This
I don't know.
not the
Could
sixth
could you
day,
have
but the
done could you have done Demolition Man with Schwarzenegger instead of Stallone?
Stallone would be better because it's just the accent. I think would throw it off a little bit because Sylvester
Hmm.
Stallone's like us, like it's like you throw us like somewhere. It's like nowadays, like what you're
That's
doing?
interesting.
What?
What about Bruce Willis?
That's what I was about. That's what I was
Right.
thinking of Bruce Willis. Oh yeah,
He had already prepared for that role. Maybe they were trying to cast him and they couldn't.
they probably were trying to. I bet you
Right.
he was the first choice because this was made in '93,
Right.
and this was kind of where Stallone kind of. It was more Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis at this
Well,
time.
Bruce Willis was already the technology hating police officer by
Yeah,
this time. You don't really have to change him much, right?
no, I bet you he was their first choice.
Maybe, maybe. But we're forgetting about, like it's interesting because there's a huge serious part to this movie that is kind of underplayed by all of the stars and the fireworks and just like the everything going on in the movie, where when you're looking at Edgar Friendly and Dennis Leary and the underground resistance, it's really almost looking like, hey, the separated society thing, right? And you're like, well, this how can this society be so great when they just have these people dying underneath them? And so that becomes like the big a moral issue that what I think the movie's supposed to be about that gets underplayed.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes was brutal.
Well, that
Yeah.
too. Like you had to have that part of the movie, right? That's the
Simon
action part.
Says.
And he does a really good job. I also had to watch White Men Can't Jump, which is another stellar acting job by him, by the way. But he does a really good job as Simon Phoenix. He pulls off, I think, a lot like what they want him to do. He's a little over the top sometimes, but that's just Wesley Snipes. And he's a good actor that way.
Yeah, speaking of like time frame, you know who originally was going to play Sandra Bullock's part?
No.
Lori Petty.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's not that great of a role.
Right, but think about when she'd been doing Point Break and Tank
Right.
Girl and all that stuff, so she was, and Sandra Bullock hadn't done much about anything. But for me, yeah, like I love the Dennis Leary as Edgar Friendly. When they cast him, they rewrote the script so he could rant more.
Because you need it. If you got Dennis Leary, you have to use what you got,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Jesse Ventura was in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he like barely said
Yeah.
anything. It wasn't like Predator, but
Yeah.
It wasn't as quick.
Rob Schneider, the officer.
Oh, this is
The
interesting.
officer.
we're police officers. They're not supposed to do that to us.
That's not our job. I love the little wand.
Oh man, Rob Schneider is so funny. All in all, though, yeah, definitely thumbs up on this movie. Not only is it a really good plot if you actually, dig into it and listen to it and watch it, but just it's fun. It's great acting, action, comedy. Like it does really have it all. You guys are talking about this. I just reading this right here. It says Steven Seagal had originally been attached as leading actor,
That would have been horrible.
and then
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme as the villain.
Oh man, that
Could
would have
that
went
be
down
true?
bad. It sound like they sound like they're making it into like some sort of martial arts flick.
Right, maybe.
Someone had a different vision for it, and the studio was like, "No, no, 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 we're not doing that."
Right, because they do have a lot of martial arts by Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
So they just kind of changed the cop role. And then they said, we don't need Van Damme, we need Snipes because we're going to make him crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I see
interesting.
that. And then I've also seen they said Jackie Chan was considered for Simon Phoenix.
So they just really wanted a lot of martial arts.
Yeah.
And then I see this, there's rumors of a Demolition Man 2.
Oh, great. What we should do is we should post all about it and find out it's fake later.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, this is AI here
Right.
saying this, saying that Stallone confirmed his involvement. Well, what? And yeah, this is where it's been in development for many years.
See, here it goes now.
There's probably a concept trailer for it
There-
Right.
No,
coming in
But
2027.
Wesley Snipes would be returning despite, spoiler, his death.
well, I'll tell you, this feels a lot like Pretty Woman too.
Well, let me look here because you got to
Shouldn't
go
we
to
just go
IMDb.
through this with AI?
No, there's a Titanic too. Jack comes back
The
out of the
ship
ocean.
raises.
He's frozen. He's frozen. Thaw him out.
Oh,
Actually,
geez, that's
His
Wes,
rose
horrible.
is 100. Oh,
there
jeez.
is a Titanic 2.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
It already
No, dude.
exists.
Stop the presses.
Yes.
The rotation, stop, please. Who's in it? Kate Winslet?
No, but they call it Titanic 2, but it's not like
Is it
um,
Ryan Gosling? Is he now? Is he gonna take?
it's a low budget disaster film.
No.
This new
Oh,
ship
I see.
following the same route encounters a tsunami and an iceberg.
Oh no, that sounds like Poseidon. That sounds like Poseidon too.
Yeah, it was kind of like it. Let's see if there's anybody in it that's a real like a.
But it's not like it's really a second part in the
No,
series,
No,
it's
but it's
though.
not.
called
So,
Titanic 2.
so it's clickbait, is what you're saying.
Now, well, Bruce Davison's in it.
Oh man.
Everyone's like, what? Who?
And everybody's gonna be all excited about Titanic 2 now. I mean, hopefully, we'll see.
Oh,
We might have to review it, Wes.
Dick Van Dyke's grandson is in it.
He's
Yeah.
like Lucille Ball's third cousin.
dude, Dick Van Dyke should be in it because he's like 100, and Rose would be 100.
Yeah. Well, here's the Titanic
Look at me.
2.
They can
100
And they
years
can hook
later.
up. What are we doing?
Here's the tagline. Titanic 2, 100 years later. Lightning strikes twice.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god, dude.
Isn't this an iceberg?
Oh, yeah.
It's a meter.
But it is written and directed by Dick Van Dyke's grandson also.
Nice.
Oh my god.
So really, he
So
just
that's
had
what
some
you have to
extra
do now
money
is to be Dick
and
Van
made a
Dyke's
movie.
grandson to make Titanic.
Yeah, awesome. That's a thumbs down for me.
I want
Oh,
to
it
see
happened
Is there
exactly,
a preview? I just want to know if there's a preview.
exactly 100 years on the same day.
Oh, yeah, nobody saw that one coming, did they?
Jesus.
Now I got to see if there's a trailer.
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm done.
And they got on a boat that was named like Titanic.
Yeah.
They just changed the P to it.
We wanted
the
to
T
recreate. We wanted to recreate the movie.
All right. Well,
Oh, dang it.
again, for people that probably maybe didn't still listening, but if you are listening, new movie topics. What did you guys think of this movie topic or getting the topics this way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to come up with
Yeah.
topics.
So that works well. Maybe we should
the
go
topic,
public.
Yeah, just
Should we go out in public and ask somebody in public, hey, name an actor? And I'm going to guess. And you say, I'm going to guess what movie you're thinking of. If you guess it right, we review it. If not, whatever they say, we review.
I was trying to talk to this female, and
It's a great pickup
was
line.
my pickup line. It's great. Then I found out she graduated from film school.
Oh,
I was like, great.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a good conversation.
We're gonna get like wild strawberries or something. Some like
You're gonna get no.
Denmark.
She actually wanted to do Jim Carrey, but we already did Spotless Mind, right?
we did True.
She wanted to do that. I thought we already did it.
We'll do a new one here. So find a stranger. Doesn't have to be a complete stranger, but we're gonna ask them what name an actor, actress. First one pops in your head. We're gonna try to guess the movie. Let's do it. Good topic for next week. So tune in next week. Check out what movies we're reviewing. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.